everyone? This is Villains Man. I'm JVD.
I'm Evan the Great.
And this is episode 2 of Crossover Collision, where we take two superpowered characters and place them in different arenas to debate on what we think the outcome would be. Now, today, we're putting DC's Deathstroke versus Marvel's Black Panther.
Yes.
To give you a rundown of the areas that we make these characters fight in. Now, these are street level characters, so we try to think of street level areas that they would fight in. So we have a city street, and this is a busy city street. We have an alleyway in a city. We have a building rooftop, the sewers below a city, a jungle, and most importantly, an open area where you're really going to see what two guys will do duking it out. Now, we do this because if you were to just make two guys fight, there's too many, how do we put this? There's too many variables. You need something there that sets a tone.
Yes.
But that's also why we do the open area. So, if you don't care, Evan the Great, start us off open area. Who do you think wins, Deathstroke or Black Panther?
Let's see. First off, we go open area, but we talked about this in the other videos. If you don't watch to see what they typically would carry.
Yeah, so make sure you watch our episodes Behind the Mask.
Wow, man, this is just...
Before we get started, what type of armor are we using for Deathstroke? Deathstroke has his classic Prometheum armor, his Ninth Metal armor, which I don't think we should use at all due to how badass it makes him, and then the Icon armor. That's what I'm leaning towards.
I would say Icon armor, because if you give him the Ninth Metal armor, I'm not going to lie, he would slaughter.
Yeah, I think he would too.
With his regular old school armor, Icon armor, I guess you could say, the newer one mixed with the...
It's all similar to Vibrating.
There you go.
So,
it is.
So it kind of puts them on par.
So I would give him that armor. Okay, so open area, we'll go over their things in each one of these areas because they're going to be different. In open area, first off, you can think, okay, open area, they can't hide because they're open.
Yeah, they're like 100 foot apart each battle.
So no trees, nothing to hide behind, so it's going to be he's there, I'm there.
It's basically an open arena.
So then you take into the fact that, okay, what range weapons do they have before they're going to get at each other very quickly anyway, but if they did do range, Black Panther has the better, I think, range capability because of his, what they call them, the
energy daggers.
The energy daggers.
Now, let me remind
because they don't run out.
Let me remind you of something real quick. Also, Deathstroke has an arsenal of weapons that we've established on Behind the Mask.
I'll get to that.
Okay.
I think it's energy daggers because they are infinite. They do not have an ammo limit.
All right.
And depending on how this goes, if they fight for long enough, they might become something because his don't run out. But the way they're both built, the suits on each of them, vibranium and then the Prometheum armor, wow, are they kind of similar as far as what they can withstand and what they do, but they're different as well.
Now let's take this into effect. Now anything, and this is what it kind of comes down to, is the armor and outside the armor.
Yeah.
Now we've established the arsenal Deathstroke has, which is 2 pistols, 40 rounds, a machine gun, 90 rounds, sniper rifle, 5 rounds, 3 shrapnel grenades. Nothing there is going to hurt Black Panther.
Yes.
You had mentioned
that's what we'll get to.
Yeah, the energy daggers. Are they really going to hurt him?
They're also not going to hurt Deathstroke.
Okay.
In my opinion, their range weapons want to hurt each other. One runs out and one don't. Which the only way that would be taken if he was able to knock some of this Prometheum armor off eventually. He can dagger him or something if they ran out of range weapons. So, range weapons, not happening. Speed-wise, they're similar in speed. Probably identical in speed, I would say. And then, so I'm going to say, no matter what in the jungle, this is going to wind up in a close combat affair. Now, they're both trained in all kinds of martial arts. They're both immune to poisons. They got this and they got that. A lot of their weapons are not going to work on each other because the vibranium absorbs the energy of anything he would shoot at him up close. He would have all these blows. But then again, you've got Black Panther, who can take shots from superhuman people, so can Deathstroke. They're very similar. So I'm going to break it down to you like this. In my personal opinion, I've thought about this a lot, especially in a jungle setting where they know where each other is.
Jungle.
What am I saying? Open area. They're going to run to each other, and they're going to have to fight melee if they're going to kill the one or the other. And then it took a long time to figure this out. But once I figured it out, I really think one has advantage over the other. I think that this person would win every single time, and it's because he can use 90% of his brain.
And you think it's Deathstroke?
And the reason I think that is if he couldn't use 90% of his brain, I think they would be even all the way down with all the stuff he's got. But since he can process and think faster than T'Challa, they both have the same and kind of similar abilities. And melee combat with the sword and the claws and all that stuff, I think the reason is because he can think faster.
So
And I think he would overwhelm T'Challa eventually.
okay, you say that, but yet
I could be wrong.
He's Batman fights him pretty well.
He does.
And
he's similar to Batman.
You know,
Black Panther.
Well, I think he's more powerful.
Well, he's better. I'm talking about the way he would fight. It's just faster and stronger.
Okay, so you think it's basically the fact that he can out maneuver him based on thinking faster
Yes.
ahead.
I think that's where he has advantage at.
Okay, so and you think that none of these play an effect, none of the areas in this whole fight.
Well, once we go to them, we'll just have to see. But I think by our typical areas that we go through up the first video, and what I'm looking at here, most things is going to come down to what hurts each other. And then in all these, we'll go each area just to do it. But in all the areas, it depends because they do have weapons that may hurt different people. Like anything that hits Black Panther, it absorbs vibranium and it lowers the impact. But anything that you hit Deathstroke with, his does the same thing, and he can also redirect it to a certain extent. I just by thinking of it and all the stuff they do, I think it literally comes down to he can think faster and process faster than Black Panther can.
Okay, so you'll see
I don't think he's smarter than Black Panther, but I think him combat-wise, they're equal. And
see, to me, what I thought it comes down to, and I've kind of had the same thought process as you through all these areas, is I think Deathstroke does have an advantage. And not so much due to this fact to process information and think quicker, because here's the thing. To me, you say that, and like I in our video for Behind the Mask of Black Panther, I mentioned that Black Panther is fast enough to time himself to catch Spider-Man. He's fast enough to react. So, would you think that Deathstroke is faster than Spider-Man? Because Spider-Man can run really fast. He's faster than both of them.
Man,
so, see that you put that in perspective right there.
But I do think about how Deathstroke can fight speedsters, man.
That's true, but here's the thing: you also have to take into effect Deathstroke, and to me, it's the identity crisis thing. Is he prepared?
Yeah.
These guys don't know each other.
That is a big factor.
Because everybody looks at that identity crisis where he beat those members of the Justice League. Man, you have like Green Lantern on there. I mean, and he's pretty powerful, but he beats them because he's prepared.
Yeah, he's prepared. He goes in. Eventually, they do get him in that book, by the way. But he does kick their ass, and then they eventually get him in the end. And Green Arrow tries to stab him in the eye.
And that's the thing. Both these guys are very based on being prepped, but it isn't. See, to me, what it comes down to is, in an open area, it's going to come down to melee.
Yes,
and you have to and it's what's more powerful is the anti-metal claws of Black Panther or the Prometheum broadsword. Because here's the thing, the blast staff, which you established, not only does it shoot the energy, it's almost like, a blast, like a shotgun blast. We know that Black Panther's armor can redirect the energy. Now, it's the thing, what is more strong? Can the anti-metal claws destroy Prometheum? And we talked about this in Black Panther. Have you ever really seen it destroy Uru or Adamantium in there?
Not really.
So the question is, can he tear through the armor?
Will this come to an overload question?
Well, even if you I'm
talking about who can overload whose suit faster.
Okay, but the thing
the amount of energy they're going to put into it.
Okay, let's just say you overload Deathstroke's first. Is Black Panther able enough to do a decent amount of damage that the overload would just hurt Deathstroke enough with his regeneration?
I don't think he would even get to the overload state. I think I think Deathstroke's too badass.
And to me, with that sword, you can't stab Black Panther, but you can cut across even though it's a weave and a mesh, there's still parts of Black Panther that you can see where the suit is put on at. So Even though, depending on what version of the suit is, like it literally grows around him, so you could even go to the fact that it's one piece. So then you have to go down to the fact that it's still melee.
Yeah.
And it's who do you think is the better melee fighter there?
When you put it like that, melee fighter, you gotta look at the rogues gallery of who they fight all the time and different things. T'Challa's always passed down all these people. So he's fought this guy, he's fought this guy, this guy. But I don't think he has fought some powerful people. I don't think he's did the shit that Deathstroke's done.
Well, that's true.
With Wonder Woman and Superman.
But like I said, though, a lot of that is that because of the armor?
Yeah.
And for both of them.
Yeah.
To me, eventually you have to take the man outside of the suit and
You
make
do.
your choice. So say it comes to the point, because here's the way I see this, and they're fighting each other, and they're both going to realize, wow, his suit is kind of like mine.
Yeah.
So it's the point you have to get around the suit. Who is going, and so you have to damage that person flesh to flesh, weapon to flesh. So Black Panther doesn't have the healing ability Deathstroke does.
He don't.
So unless there's any way that these anti-metal claws or these energy daggers would slow his regeneration down, which I don't think they would.
Just to the crowd out there, whoever's watching this, if you can find out, because I don't know, and I don't think JB did, if vibranium or
It's anti-metal.
if you can find out if anti-metals ever cut through or sliced adamantine in any way, shape, or form, let us know, because it would change the outcome as well.
I've looked and looked and looked and never once seen it.
But I've never seen it do that.
Like I've seen him cut metal with it and whatnot, like steel and titanium, but I've never seen that happen.
That would change the outcome of this, but to me, like he's talking about, who can get to the inside of the armor quicker and being able to think faster and process information, it's got to be Deathstroke.
So, well, and the thing is, even in the Ultimates, he has scratched Captain America's shield.
Yeah.
And you've even seen Wolverine, the cover from Captain America and War, he cuts the shield. It's just a matter of what is the shield at the time. Is it the vibranium adamantium mix?
Yeah.
Because to me, I think adamantium cuts vibranium. Because adamantium cuts through anything. So
It does.
And to me, if adamantium's on the par with promethium, even though you can't cut the vibranium, he's going to find out a way to around the armor. And if they get to the point where they're getting around the armor, I think that's an advantage for Deathstroke due to the fact that he has regeneration.
He does. And his suit makes it better.
And here's the thing. And if, say they've got to that point and he's got ammunition left over, that's really bad for T'Challa.
Yeah.
Because you can dodge a bullet, but can you dodge the bullet of a guy who's on par with you physically? Or maybe even better.
Yeah.
So, you have to look at that right there. So, even though with an open area, which is a lot of what we just talked about is going to play in, let's move to the next one. Let's talk about city street, busy city street. Now, you have morals that play into effect here as well, because these are the characters. And within 100 feet, it's a bitty, you look at something like Times Square, Black Panther will be out to kill. He has no qualms about killing people. But is he going to play the guy that's going to save people? Like when we talk about Captain America and Batman, we both talk about that. Both of them are going to try to not hurt civilians.
And when you get to this one, I think Deathstroke don't care.
No, he's not going to care.
He is a paid contractor.
Mm-hmm. And my thing is with Deathstroke, and this is why I really think that he wins this, is because once he realizes that bullets won't affect Black Panther, because each fight is different.
Yeah.
They don't know each other. That he can use the bullets to his advantage to the area. So say, he shoots at Black Panther, knowing Black Panther is going to duck. Maybe that's what he wants, and he's going to shoot something else to trigger an area effect around it. Like you shoot a light post is going to fall. Well, then Black Panther's got to realize, am I going to react to Deathstroke's attack, or am I going to get out of the range of this? To me, that very heavily favors Deathstroke right there.
It does. Damn. So far, he's 100%.
Okay, so are we in agreement there? You got any rebuttal for that?
I think he would be using civilians. He would probably shoot some of them in the knee. He don't give a shit. So Black Panther would run over there, or like he said, miss on purpose to hit somebody, and then he's like, shit. By the time he turns around, he's angry, and then he's fighting with anger.
Yeah.
And you got a whole city to work with. You gave him another weapon to put him in the street.
Yeah, you did, because it says he's the master of his environment. Deathstroke will use the environment to his advantage.
Yep. We got other areas, we might as well go to them. The alley, let's put them in the alley.
What do you think they're in the alley? Do you think there's any advantage Black Panther has when it comes to an alley?
I really don't.
You don't think so?
Well, hold on. Even
Think your typical alley, you know, it might be 20 foot wide,
Yeah.
buildings up each side, it's dark. You've got stuff like fire escapes, dumpsters.
Man, I think of all that stuff, but then I think of Deathstroke and how strong he is. Would he just push him through the wall?
It's true, but it's very possible. Here's my thing. I think
He has a little bit of advantage in there until they get out of there, and I think he'd get out of there.
I think we'll know the fight stays in the alley.
Oh, okay.
I think Black Panther does have an advantage for the fact that he has a force field. He doesn't have to worry about overloading anything in his vibranium. So he can make a force field, and he can just literally come at Deathstroke, but then it comes back down to a melee fight.
I just don't. Anytime they get locked in melee, Black Panther's going to die. Eventually, he's going to be the one that's going to die first.
No, I mean, yeah, and the thing is, it's going to be a long fight. Like I said, the thing with Killmonger, they fought for 13 hours. This fight could literally go for a while. And it's more of the fact that who's going to figure out whose armor first.
And all the things that T'Challa would do in the city, in an alleyway where he can hide and jump and surprise, he fights Batman and Nightwing all the time. So he's going to know that shit anyway. They're not as fast as him.
Yeah, he's more used to fighting in his
But
city than Black Panther
Yeah.
is.
So really, he would have the advantage for the alleyway, but also the style he fights is the same style he's used to.
Exactly.
Especially fighting Teen Titans and Nightwing and Batman and all that shit.
Okay, well, like I said, he's going to have to close the ranks in an alley, which Black Panther, I think, can do easily.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that he can, you know, use a force field.
Yeah.
And I think this plays more to effect in an alleyway because it's enclosed more than an open space. Who do you think is the stronger? Because if it comes down to melee, if it comes down to a grapple, that could be a big advantage because then you're to the point where you can start to take armor off of somebody.
I really think that their strength is on par with each other. Now, I say that, but really, I think out of the suits, their strength is on par. But in the suits, I think Deathstroke is actually stronger and faster than Black Panther because his suits enhance his regular abilities.
Oh, that's with the ninth medal. He doesn't have.
Oh yeah, you don't have that.
Yeah.
My bad. I keep forgetting you don't have that. But yeah, so basically I put them on par with each other.
Because I mean, the icon suit, the Speed Force thing doesn't help him here
Yeah,
because he's got no Speed
Yeah.
Force to siphon off.
I think that they're on par here. I think that his suit, Black Panther's suit, would be harder to like get off, but it's easier to tear.
Okay.
I mean, you can tear.
Okay, so we're agreeing it's an alley. See, because here's the bad thing. You think these characters are so even until it comes down to just one thing.
Yeah,
So let's move on to a city rooftop. You know, you've got sometimes city rooftops have water tanks, and you've got air vents. You've got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff to run and duck behind. See, this is where I think that Black Panther can gain the advantage of surprise because vibranium, he can be silent in vibranium.
yeah.
So then it's more of a, can he be silent enough to sneak up on Deathstroke? But here's the thing, that comes to melee,
Yeah,
and we've established what happens in melee.
yeah. I mean, yeah, he can sneak up on him, but once he start hitting him, it's going to be a melee combat again. Now, being on top of a rooftop, I'm pretty sure that if Deathstroke fell off, it still wouldn't hurt them.
This is what I was getting to. Go ahead.
It wouldn't hurt him. He would just get up. And I think Black Panther, he has his vibranium would absorb the impact or whatever, and he would just land like a cat. So really knocking him off is not going to. I would think, that's not going to hurt Deathstroke either. He's just going to absorb the damn impact, get up.
Okay, to add some intrigue to this, let's just say the winner is based on the person who throws the other person off of the rooftop, like it's a ring out.
Yeah.
Do you think that gives either one of them any advantage?
I think that would give Black Panther the advantage because even though Deathstroke might not know where he is, he can possibly sneak up on him and knock him off the ledge.
And he's a grappler. Here's the thing, you know,
But who knows how good is his hearing? Is it good enough to hear that strike coming?
Well, here's the thing though, he's an expert at being
Yeah.
silent. So I mean, excuse me, that's a huge advantage
Yeah.
he has. So, I mean, this one, I think if you do the whole ring out thing, it's up in the air. It
Yeah.
could be a tie because it's a matter of who's going to throw, and it's that is not to give Black Panther an up, but I mean, if you look at it like that, like you said, they both get thrown off of a building. Neither one, they're both going to survive.
Yeah. And then Black Panther does carry things that when he fights Iron Man, it puts on a suit and shuts it down. The problem with this is the Promethean armor is not like that.
Yeah, it's not. It is not battery powered.
If
It doesn't
it
have a
was,
power source, except
different.
for hold up, except for the fact that he has to be moving to power the suit. So if you can find some way to neutralize
Yeah.
Deathstroke, then the suit it won't power up. So you take that ability away from the suit, then you're just literally fighting the man. You have to find a way to slow him down so the
Yeah.
suit doesn't gain its power. So that is an advantage T'Challa can get if he can figure it out.
So maybe going back to our alleyway, that is more advantage for T'Challa. Until they get melee combat and he starts throwing punches.
Yes, and I think that's where it gets a little different because you see Deathstroke throw punches against more superpowered people than what Black Panther does.
Right.
Okay, so we're in agreement that rooftop fight would go to Deathstroke unless you would count this
Yeah.
ring out ability, which makes sense with both of them.
Yeah.
So, and then it would be a toss up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the fight takes place now in the sewer.
Mhm.
This is more of a closed area than an alley, 100 foot apart. Who do you think wins?
I think the sewer it turns into the alleyway like all over again. Like he's gonna have to get melee combat.
Yeah, you have no choice here.
Man, dude, I feel like we're being mean to Black Panther. I love Black Panther, but
Hey, it was the two people that we
Yeah.
had chosen to pick, and that's
Yeah.
the whole point of throwing in
it was fun. Yeah.
areas because you don't think about that stuff.
Yeah.
If it's a straight one-on-one fight, you're very, it's more easier to pinpoint
It
a
is.
winner. But when you throw in areas, it's different, and then you might realize, hey, wow, this is more one-sided than what I expected.
That's just what this was turning into. But in a sewer, it's going to turn into the alleyway fight. And as soon as they start fighting, because every time it's new, they might shoot or blast you, and then they're going to find out, fuck, we can't do that to each other. Don't do nothing. So then they're going to have to engage in combat. If he sneaks up on him and starts, swinging on Deathstroke, he's going to start throwing punches. He's going to generate energy, and it's going to power the suit. So same thing's going to happen, and he's using 9/10 of his brain. So he's already going to be a step ahead, and you can't beat him unless you get him emotionally stopped.
Yeah.
At least you got something to add. I just think the sewer is going to be the
Mhm.
same thing.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so to the final one.
The jungle.
Now, how do you feel about a jungle? You feel Black Panther is at home there?
In the jungle is the only place out of all these categories where Black Panther would feel at home and he would have a slight advantage. Just because he's used to the jungle. And I don't know if Deathstroke's ever fought too many times in the jungle.
Yeah, being a mercenary, yeah.
But he probably knows it. The thing is, all the elements that could hurt Deathstroke in the jungle aren't going to really hurt him. But the fact that T'Challa would know what he can jump off of and what he can hit and all that, that would make it better for him to land all his blows. But still, landing those blows puts him in melee range.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he would have an advantage as far as like the location, but the outcome is still the same.
Okay. See, I don't. In a jungle, it's hard for me to say that it is, because here's the thing: compared to these 6 areas, the jungle offers T'Challa not only the most camouflage, but
It
the
does.
most covered.
It does.
And here's the thing: he is silent when he moves. So, say even if Deathstroke is shooting at him and he takes cover, if Deathstroke can't find him, if he starts to hide, then that's just more advantage to T'Challa. Now, don't get me wrong, Deathstroke's going to be on his guard, but if you can't hear a guy coming after you, and though, don't get me wrong, Deathstroke's probably trained in how to be quiet when walking in a jungle environment with
Yeah.
his military background, Deathstroke has a chance of snapping a twig, which, even though Black Panther does, he's still silent.
Yeah.
So I think this is the one where he could actually win.
Yeah.
I think because he has a huge advantage. I mean, he's fought more in the jungle than Deathstroke probably ever has in his life. He's very used to this type
Yeah.
of terrain.
Like I said, I would give it the advantage. like I said, actually win. I would say out of all of our categories, this is the only one where I would give Black Panther a win if they fought each other multiple times.
I agree. Just for the fact that it's more of his home turf. And that's not predetermined by us because we determined
Yeah.
these arenas
Yeah.
before we even did this fight in previous videos. So, I mean, that's nothing against Black Panther. But while we're doing this, I've kind of thought about something. Okay, both these guys are really based on prep because we brought up the whole Justice League
Yeah.
thing. And we brought up earlier with Behind a Mask with Black Panther about how he beat Tony Stark with prep. Now, both these guys were prep. Let's just say that we gave them 24 hours of prep.
Yeah.
Who do you think wins?
Mm.
Because the environment wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Be tough. I think
Because prep is something we've established outside the show that's something we're going to stay away from. Because basically anybody with prep has a huge chance of winning. It's just who's better at it.
I guess prep would make it a better fight because they would both bring different weapons and elements into the game. But the fact that I guess it depends on if Deathstroke is okay. They say they prep and he's hunting T'Challa down, and T'Challa knows he's hunting down. I think that might change, or if he's coming to Deathstroke, and they might alter who's coming in each one. Because if he's coming to him, he's going to go in the jungle. That's where T'Challa's going to be at. And we already established he has an advantage. So he'd have prep and advantage in the jungle, and he would know what to do to Deathstroke, which really, there ain't a way to, you got to slow him. He would have a device that would do that at that point. Vice versa, if he had prep, he would know that even though that's vibranium is not, it can be broken and torn. And he would know that, and he would bring shit to do that.
To me, see, I think in a battle with prep, Black Panther wins.
Yeah.
Because there's the thing, when you think Deathstroke, even though he has two eyes, do you think of Deathstroke with one eye?
Yeah.
Everybody does, right? You think of Deathstroke, eye patch, gray hair, gray goatee, right?
Yeah.
Now with prep, Black Panther's going to realize that all I have to do is take out his other eye.
Yeah.
He's not going to regenerate it.
Yeah.
So, and that's just with combat. Now
Yeah.
to me, Black Panther has prep-wise has done things greater than Deathstroke. I mean, just for the fact that he's beat Iron Man 3 times.
He has.
Says a lot.
And
He's also duplicated Doom's weapons to take Power Cosmic.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the 8th smartest person
I think it's
in the world for a reason. But to me, he has a better pool of knowledge and technology
He does.
available more than what Deathstroke has. Because see, that's where I think with Deathstroke would think more of, okay, he's going to be more focused on the vibranium. Where Black Panther's like, well, I know my vibranium, that's not what I'm going with. He's going to go he's going to go away from that. And that's where you look at where he does the shadow physics things.
Yeah.
And I was reading into that. It's freaking crazy. It's something he doesn't use a lot. And that's something we didn't want to bring up. But to think of something like that to use as a weapon, Deathstroke's not going to look at something like that.
But on the flip side, Deathstroke did build a sword that killed God one time.
He had that God sword, which I'm sure we eventually will do a video with that because it's retarded.
It is, but it's out there.
Yes, it's there, and it makes him a whole different character. That's why we didn't bring it up in our Behind the Mask with it.
But overall, I think Black Panther would prep. He could definitely. He's smarter. He would be able to come up with a way to handle this situation. But on the flip side, whatever he brings up to do it, if it does not work, they wind up in the same situation again.
Pretty much.
And then he loses. So I think with prep, he has an advantage. But I'm still saying, in my opinion, with prep, he can win a couple more times. But I still think it's probably 40-60. Still think Deathstroke.
Okay, now I thought about this when I was thinking about the whole prep thing and beforehand with that. Okay, so we've been talking about it's a matter of getting past the armor.
Yeah.
Now, with that, I brought up the eye thing. Do you think once their armor comes off and T'Challa sees that he's only got one eye, that's an advantage for him, that he would go after that? You think that would change things?
Well, say he's going after the eye.
Deathstroke,
say Deathstroke's like, all right, he's going after my eye. Deathstroke thinks 90% of his brain, 9/10, he's 9 times faster thinking than he is. I think he would use that to an advantage and he would kill T'Challa.
He'd lure him in.
Yes.
All right. I think that's a,
I could be wrong, but
no, that's actually pretty good.
maybe the first
good.
couple times he would get to the eye, but eventually a lot of those fights are going to go past a couple minutes.
He's
And
going
then
to use
you'll
his
go,
weak, he's
yeah.
going to turn his weakness to
Into
his
his
advantage
strength.
and make a trap. Cool.
Yep.
That's a good way to wrap up this episode of Crossover Collision. If you have an idea for a
Yeah.
battle, man, leave it in the comments. Let us know. We'd like to cover it. But the thing is with these, we try to get people real close to each other, or
Yeah.
maybe a version of a character that could be on par with a more powerful character. So with that, I'm JVD.
I'm Evan the Great.
Please follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and keep reading, guys.